Chojuro. The Mizukage, the hidden mist village, has a bloody and brutal history. Known as the Village of the Bloody Mist, it once thrived under the philosophy that only the strongest should survive. The Mizukage were often feared warlords, capable of commanding absolute authority through sheer power. But as times changed, so did the village. With the fall of the old system, a new era of peace emerged, and with it, the weakest Mizukage in history, Chojuro, the Sixth Mizukage. At first glance, calling Chojuro the weakest might seem unfair. He was a member of the Seven Swordsmen of the Mist, wielding one of the most powerful swords, Hiramekarei. He played a significant role in the Fourth Great Ninja War and even fought against Kinshiki Otsutsuki in Boruto. But when compared to the monstrous Mizukage before him, his skill set lacks the overwhelming dominance that defined his predecessors. Chojuro's primary strength lies in kenjutsu. He uses Hiramekarei, a twin-handled blade that can store and release chakra, shaping its energy into various weapons like hammers, spears, and blades. This adaptability makes him a deadly close combat fighter, but it also means that much of his strength is tied to a weapon. Without it, his combat effectiveness drops significantly. He also possesses water release, but unlike previous Mizukage, he has never demonstrated unique or devastating water-based techniques. His usage of water release has been minimal in the series, and it never reached the level of someone like Tobirama Senju or Kisame Hoshigaki. While he showed impressive growth in the Fourth Great Ninja War, helping to defeat Black Zetsu and taking part in the final battle against Madara's forces, his overall impact was not as significant as other Kage. Later, in Boruto, he fought against Kinshiki Otsutsuki, managing to land attacks, but ultimately failing to make a difference in the battle. This suggests that while he is skilled, he lacks the sheer dominance that other Mizukage possessed. The Mizukage before Chojuro were defined by their raw power, strategic genius, and sheer dominance in battle, making his position as the weakest stand out even more. Gengetsu Hozuki, the second Mizukage, was nearly immortal due to his hydrolysis ability, which allowed him to liquefy his body and avoid attacks. His genjutsu techniques could wipe out entire armies, and even in death, he was considered one of the strongest shinobi of his era. Then there was Yagura Karatachi, the fourth Mizukage, who was a perfect Jinchuriki of the Three Tails, meaning he had unlimited chakra regeneration, insane durability, and immense destructive capabilities. He was so strong that he killed Juzo Biwa, a former member of the Seven Swordsmen, and forced Itachi Uchiha to retreat, a feat that alone places him leagues ahead of Chojuro. Mei Terumi, the fifth Mizukage, possessed two Kekkei Genkai, lava release and boil release, both of which made her one of the most dangerous elemental users in the series. Her boil release was powerful enough to melt through Sasuke's Susanoo, proving that her abilities were capable of countering even the strongest defenses. Lastly, though little is known about Byakuren, the first Mizukage, the fact that he survived the Warring States period suggests he was a shinobi of incredible skill and intelligence. Compared to these titans, Chojuro lacks a defining ability that makes him truly dangerous. His swordsmanship is elite, but it does not hold the same wide-reaching destructive impact that defined his predecessors. While he is undoubtedly skilled, his combat style is far too one-dimensional, making him the weakest Mizukage in history. Chojuro is not weak, but he is the weakest among the Mizukage. His reliance on kenjutsu and basic water release makes him a one-dimensional fighter, unlike his predecessors, who possessed a mix of overpowering abilities. His feats, while respectable, do not reach the legendary status of Gengetsu, Yagura, or Mei. Interesting, right? Here, we don't just watch anime, we live every character, every story, every emotion. Don't miss out on exclusive content and fresh takes you won't find anywhere else. Hit that subscribe button now and become part of the most passionate and creative anime community out there. Thanks for the support. This journey wouldn't be the same without you. Next, Kurotsuchi, the Tsuchikage. Among the 5 great villages, the Hidden Stone has always been associated with overwhelming raw power. From its inception, it was a place where strength dictated leadership, and its Kage were known for their ability to wield destructive techniques that could reshape the battlefield. However, every legacy has its weakest link, and for the Tsuchikage, that link is Kurotsuchi, the fourth and current leader of the Hidden Stone. At first glance, it might seem unfair to label her as the weakest. After all, she's the granddaughter of Onoki, the legendary third Tsuchikage, and she possesses an impressive set of abilities. But when compared to her predecessors, her lack of a defining, overwhelming power makes her stand out, not for her strength, but for what she lacks. Kurotsuchi's main combat style revolves around lava release, specifically using quicklime and ashstone variations. Quicklime works like a liquid trap. Once released, she can combine it with water release to solidify her target in place, similar to how cement hardens. Ashstone, on the other hand, acts as a semi-solid magma-like material, capable of immobilizing enemies with its sticky, stone-like properties. While this is effective for trapping and restraining foes, it lacks the sheer destructive potential of other lava release users. She also possesses yin release, which enhances her proficiency in genjutsu. In fact, within the current generation of Kage, she is considered the most skilled genjutsu user. But let's be honest, when was the last time a Tsuchikage was known for their illusion techniques? The Hidden Stone has always been about brute force, overwhelming foes with crushing might. Genjutsu, while useful, has never been a defining trait of their Kage. One thing she does have in her favor is her intelligence. During the Fourth Great Ninja War, she demonstrated tactical wit by outmaneuvering Kabuto Yakushi, a shinobi known for his deceptive genius. However, being a clever strategist doesn't compensate for the fact that in direct combat, she lacks the devastating power that her predecessors wielded. When comparing Kurotsuchi to the previous Tsuchikage, the gap in power becomes evident. The second Tsuchikage, Mu, was a legend who wielded dust release, Jinten, one of the most dangerous Keke Tota techniques in history. This ability allowed him to disintegrate enemies at a molecular level, making him nearly unstoppable. He also had the ability to turn invisible, a skill that made him one of the most feared shinobi of his time. His student, Onoki, the third Tsuchikage, and Kurotsuchi's grandfather, not only inherited dust release, but also refined it, using it to fight legendary figures like Madara Uchiha and Momoshiki Otsutsuki. Onoki's mastery of weight manipulation gave him an unparalleled advantage in both offense and defense, making him one of the longest reigning and most influential Tsuchikage in history. Even Ishikawa, the first Tsuchikage, despite being the least known, is believed to have played a crucial role in uniting the warring clans of the Stone Village and might have possessed either dust release or insect-based techniques. Compared to these figures, Kurotsuchi lacks the defining trait of a Tsuchikage. She does not have dust release, nor does she possess any ability that sets her apart as a game-changing leader. While she is intelligent and skilled in lava release and genjutsu, her combat abilities fall short of the devastating powers wielded by her predecessors, making her the weakest among the Tsuchikage lineage. While Kurotsuchi is by no means weak in the grand scheme of things, she simply does not match the legacy of the Tsuchikage before her. Lacking dust release, having a combat style focused more on utility than devastation, and missing any defining battle achievements make her the least impressive among the Hidden Stone's Kage. Shamon, the Kazakage. The Hidden Sand Village has always been known for its unorthodox combat styles and tactical warfare. Unlike villages like the Hidden Leaf or Hidden Cloud, where brute strength often determined leadership, the Kazakage were strategists, using unique abilities to control the battlefield. From manipulating magnetic forces to perfecting deadly puppet techniques, each Kazakage left their mark in history. But among them, Shamon, the second Kazakage, stands out for a very different reason. Not for his overwhelming strength, but for being the weakest in combat history. Unlike his successors, he lacked a defining ability that set him apart as a warlord. Instead, his contributions were intellectual rather than physical, and in a world dominated by power, that's what places him at the bottom. Shamon's greatest achievement was his role in the militarization of puppetry, Kugutsu no Jutsu. While the technique existed before, it was under his leadership that the Sand Village began refining it into an effective combat strategy. This innovation later led to Sasori's deadly red secret technique, Kankuro's mastery of puppet warfare, and even Chiyo's medical puppetry techniques. He was also one of the first Kazakage to study Jinchuriki mechanics, laying the foundation for future generations to weaponize the one tail, Shukaku. His research later influenced Rasa, the fourth Kazakage, in his attempt to use Gaara as the ultimate military asset. However, despite these contributions, his personal strength remains a mystery. There is no recorded battle where Shamon showcased overwhelming power. Unlike most Kazakage, he never demonstrated magnet release, a signature ability that later became synonymous with the Sand Village's leadership. The Kazakage before and after Shamon were warriors, conquerors, and tacticians who left an undeniable mark on the history of the Hidden Sand. Reto, the first Kazakage, was a figure so powerful that he was able to unite the scattered desert clans into a single village. More impressively, he was strong enough to capture Shukaku, the One Tail, a feat that very few shinobi in history have achieved alone. Then there was the third Kazakage, considered the strongest Kazakage of all time, who wielded iron sand, a technique that combined magnetism and poison to create a nearly unstoppable force on the battlefield. Even Sasori, one of the deadliest puppet masters ever, considered the third Kazakage powerful enough to turn into a human puppet, reinforcing just how formidable he was. Rasa, the fourth Kazakage, though not as strong as the third, still possessed gold dust, a weaker variation of iron sand, but strong enough to suppress Shukaku. His tactical mind allowed him to weaponize the tailed beast and use it as a political tool for the village. Finally, Gaara, the fifth Kazakage, is one of the most powerful shinobi in the entire Naruto series. His ability to manipulate sand surpasses even Shukaku itself, and his strength is so immense that he played a key role in the Fourth Great Ninja War. Compared to these legendary figures, Shamon had no defining battle feats, no recorded extraordinary abilities, and lacked the iconic magnet release that became a symbol of Kazakage power. While he contributed to military advancements and Jinchuriki research, his personal combat strength remains unremarkable, making him the weakest Kazakage in history. Shamon was an intellectual leader, a researcher who pushed the Sand Village toward technological advancements rather than military conquests. But when ranking the strength of Kazakage, combat ability is the defining factor. Darui, the Raikage. The Hidden Cloud Village is a land of monstrous warriors, where brute strength and overwhelming speed define its Kage. From the very beginning, the Raikage have been warriors first and leaders second, known for their incredible durability, lightning-fast reflexes, and unmatched resilience on the battlefield. Among them, however, Darui, the fifth Raikage, stands out, not for his strength, but for being the weakest of the Raikage lineage. This is not to say he is weak in general. Darui is a formidable ninja, but when compared to his predecessors, he lacks the legendary feats that make the Raikage title synonymous with raw, untamed power. Darui possesses an impressive set of abilities that make him a well-rounded fighter, but they do not reach the absurd levels of strength demonstrated by the Raikage before him. Black Lightning, a more powerful version of standard lightning release. Black Lightning is extremely potent, capable of annihilating multiple opponents in a single strike. However, it has not shown the unparalleled speed and defensive properties of the lightning armor used by the third and fourth Raikage. Storm Release, a Kage, Genkai that combines water and lightning release to create laser-like attacks, allowing Darui to hit enemies with pinpoint precision from long distances. This makes him dangerous in ranged combat, but it lacks the pure devastation of techniques like the third Raikage's Hell Stab or the fourth Raikage's high-speed Taijutsu, Kenjutsu, and Chakra reserves. Darui is an expert swordsman and has large chakra reserves, which allowed him to wield 3 of the Sage of Six Paths legendary weapons during the Fourth Great Ninja War. However, while this demonstrates his endurance, his combat style does not carry the same overwhelming presence as the Raikage before him. The Raikage lineage is built on raw, unrelenting power, and Darui, while strong, does not embody the overwhelming dominance of his predecessors. The third Raikage was a force of nature, famous for fighting 10,000 enemy shinobi for 3 days straight before ultimately falling, not to his enemies, but to his own indestructible body. His signature hell stab could pierce anything, including himself, and his lightning armor made him nearly untouchable. The fourth Raikage, A, was a physical monster, capable of matching Minato Namikaze's reflexes and delivering devastating blows that could break through even the toughest defenses. His lightning armor enhanced his speed and durability to absurd levels, allowing him to fight equally with Sasuke's Mangekyo Sharingan and Susanoo. Though not much is known about the first and second Raikage, they survived during the era of brutal ninja warfare, implying they were powerhouses in their own right. Compared to these legends, Darui, while talented, does not possess a single defining feat that elevates him to their level. His Storm Release and Black Lightning are unique, but they do not match the sheer destructive force, speed, or endurance of the previous Raikage. While he is a great leader for a peaceful era in terms of combat dominance, he is the weakest Raikage in history. Darui lacks a defining, overwhelming power that makes him feared across the shinobi world. While his Storm Release and Black Lightning are strong, they do not hold up against the unstoppable durability, speed, and sheer battle prowess of the Raikage before him. Unlike the third and fourth Raikage, who shape the battlefield through raw force, Darui relies more on technique and strategy. While this makes him an excellent leader for a peaceful era, it also makes him the least formidable Raikage in direct combat. Kakashi, the Hokage. Among all the Hokage who have led the Hidden Leaf, Kakashi Hatake stands out, not for his strength, but for being the weakest. This is an unusual statement, considering he was once one of the most feared and skilled shinobi of his time. However, when he finally took the mantle of Hokage, he was no longer at his peak. Unlike the legendary warriors who came before him, Kakashi entered leadership without his greatest asset, the Sharingan. Does this mean Kakashi was a bad Hokage? Absolutely not. He was a brilliant leader, a master strategist, and one of the most respected ninja in history. However, when ranking purely based on combat ability, he simply does not compare to the titans who preceded him. Before becoming Hokage, Kakashi's entire fighting style was built around the Sharingan. It allowed him to perfectly copy enemy techniques, predict movements, and use the infamous Kamui, one of the most broken abilities in the Naruto universe. But once he lost it, he had to redefine his fighting style, and while he adapted well, the loss was undeniable. Purple Lightning. To replace his signature Raikiri, Lightning Blade, Kakashi developed Purple Lightning, an extremely powerful ranged lightning attack. Unlike Raikiri, this technique does not require the Sharingan for precision, making it more suitable for his new abilities. Master of over 1,000 Jutsu. Thanks to his years of experience and exceptional intelligence, Kakashi retained an arsenal of techniques, spanning all 5 chakra natures: fire, wind, earth, water, lightning, as well as yin-yang release. However, without the Sharingan, he could no longer instantly copy jutsu, which was one of his greatest strengths. Strategic genius. Even without the Sharingan, Kakashi remained one of the most intelligent ninja in history. His tactical thinking and quick decision-making played a crucial role in the Fourth Great Ninja War, and as Hokage, he guided the village into a new era of peace. Despite all of this, his physical abilities were undeniably weaker than before. Losing the Sharingan meant he lost enhanced reflexes, precognition, and the ability to use Kamui, which was arguably one of the most broken techniques in the entire series. While this improved his stamina, the trade-off was significant. The Hokage title is reserved for the strongest ninja in the Hidden Leaf, and every Hokage before Kakashi had a defining ability that set them apart as legends. Hashirama Senju, the first Hokage, was a god-tier shinobi, capable of regenerating wounds instantly, controlling tailed beasts, and fighting Madara Uchiha and Kurama at the same time. His wood release alone could reshape entire battlefields. Tobirama Senju, the second Hokage, was the fastest ninja of his time, the creator of Flying Raijin, Shadow Clones, and Edo Tensei, and a master of water release so strong that it rivaled Keke Genkai techniques. Hiruzen Sarutobi, the third Hokage, was known as the Professor because he mastered every jutsu in Konoha and fought Orochimaru and two reanimated Hokage at once in his old age. Minato Namikaze, the fourth Hokage, was one of the fastest shinobi ever, using flying Raijin to eliminate entire enemy squads in seconds. Tsunade, the fifth Hokage, had superhuman strength, medical ninjutsu that could heal entire armies, and the ability to survive being bisected. Lastly, Naruto Uzumaki, the seventh Hokage, became a literal demigod, wielding Sage of Six Paths power, truth-seeking orbs, and Kurama's chakra. Compared to these godlike warriors, Kakashi, after losing his Sharingan, simply does not hold up. He is a genius strategist and an exceptional ninja, but without his Sharingan and Kamui, he lacks the overwhelming power that defines a Hokage, making him the weakest Hokage in history. Kakashi's greatest strength was always his adaptability and intelligence, but as Hokage, he lacked the overwhelming raw power that every other Hokage had. Losing his Sharingan meant he could no longer compete at the highest levels, and while Purple Lightning was a powerful alternative, it was not enough to bridge the gap. Unlike Tsunade, Minato, or Hashirama, Kakashi did not have a unique, overpowering ability that made him stand out. He was an exceptional ninja, but when placed alongside the godlike figures who preceded and succeeded him, he is simply the weakest Hokage in terms of sheer combat ability. Thanks for watching till the end. See ya!